Hello, I would like to demonstrate the Tune SQL for Rewriter plugin. Here is a SQL statement that will be executed in MySQL Workbench that has performance problem. Let's test the SQL statement here. It will take around 28 seconds to finish. Alright, this SQL statement is already finished. It takes around 28 seconds. If we want to improve this SQL statement, but you cannot change your source code, how can you do it? Actually, in MySQL database, there is a plugin. It is called SQL Rewriter Plugin. It can help you to replace a bad performance SQL statement with a better performance SQL statement. Let me show you how to do it. In the DB Ace Enterprise, the Tune SQL for Rewriter plugin. Here is the SQL statements that has the execution plan shown here. The execution time is displayed here. Let me show you how to improve this SQL statement. It is similar to what we've seen in the Tune SQL module. I press the Tune SQL button here. It is the timing method. We will use the default setting. Run the original SQL statement twice and all other SQL alternatives once. Let's start the tuning for the SQL statement now. The SQL statement is going to be rewritten like this and this. This is what our AI engine that can help you to rewrite the SQL statement in different ways. So each rewritten syntax will give you a new execution plan. There will be a good execution plan will be found in one of the rewritten syntax and optimizer hints application here. Let's wait and see how many SQL statements will be generated for the original SQL statement by our AI engine. Now you can see that for each rewritten SQL statement, there are some hints applications to the SQL. It is used to further generate more execution plans. The more execution plans generated, the more chance it will get a better performance SQL statement. Now the benchmark is processing. After a few minutes, there are up to 1488 SQL statements have been investigated, and there are 32 distinguished SQL statements is found. It means they are unique in execution plan. So the original SQL is being test run, and the other SQL statement will be test run later. Since the time to execute the original SQL statement is quite long, let's pause for a moment and check the result later. Now, the original SQL statement has been executed twice, and the second execution time is 27.42 seconds. And there exists a SQL Rewrite 9 with hints to show very good execution time. It is around 0.086 seconds. The SQL syntax is a little bit complicated, but the performance is very good, as around 300 times faster than the original SQL statement. It saves up to 99% of elapsed time. The result's quite good. Let me show you how use the Rewrite 9H2 to replace the original SQL in MySQL database. Let me press the Deploy SQL Replacement rule here, or press this button, Deploy SQL Replacement rule. This function is used to help you to replace the original SQL statement with a better performance SQL statement here. Let's press the Deploy button here. But before we can use this deploy feature in MySQL database, you have to have a Rewriter plugin installed in your MySQL database. You can refer to MySQL manual and have this plugin installed before using this function. Let me show you the deploy function. And let the original SQL statement be replaced by this better performance SQL statement. Let's go back to MySQL Workbench, see the same SQL statement. Let me execute against and see the performance of the SQL statement now, so you can see that it's amazing. The original SQL statement, without changing anything, but the performance has been improved by up to 300 times faster. It is 0.078 seconds now. Let me go back to our tuning tool and drop the SQL replacement rule. Now go back to see what is the performance of the original SQL statement again. The replacement rule is now dropped. And go back to the MySQL Workbench. Execute the SQL again. It is going to go back to the original time around 28 seconds. So you can see the effect of performance improvement without changing of the source code. With our tuning tools enforcement, the SQL Rewriter plugin is very powerful feature in MySQL database. Let me go back to our tool. That is it for the demonstration for the SQL Rewriter plugin. Thank you for watching our demonstrations. Thanks.